players, from everything that I'm sure you have gleaned and what I've gleaned, is they just love the opportunity to compete.
Absolutely. We thought we'd go on live a little bit early on YouTube today because, it's all about the fans. It's all about growing the game. And I'm one of the owners of the Paris Musketeers and involved in the EFA broadcast. And it's just so exciting what's going on. And we have with us John McKeon, CEO of Paris Musketeers. Mason, what would you call your title? Owner, GM, president?
General manager.
General manager. Awesome.
CEO and general manager.
And as you can see, we've grown quite tight here over the last bit. So just want to throw it to John. How exciting is it? First home game here in Paris, atmosphere, new stadium, new energy.
Yeah, it's very exciting. We worked really hard this offseason to kind of, bring the team back inside of Paris, make it easily and accessible to our fans, and put on a great show. I mean, part of what makes American football special is being able to do, tailgating, barbecue, beer, cheerleaders, the entire kind of experience of American football, and that's what we're doing here today. So we're happy to bring that to everyone in Paris and France.
Absolutely. Now, what makes this so special is not only are we starting a season, but we're starting a league. And Mason, just talk about your excitement about the launch of the EFA and sort of what it means.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. And John, thank you. I mean, this is so fundamentally different than anything that's been done, really, in football in Europe before. People ask me sometimes, at least in Prague, if Europe's really ready for American football. I think when you look at the popularity of the NFL games, the ratings that football gets on TV, I think it's clear that Europeans want good American football. But what's never happened is a group of team owners come together and respect the product and make sure that we're putting a quality product on the field and make sure our players, our coaches, and our fans are guaranteed, good entertainment and good value. So that's what's so important, I think, about what we're doing here. Our players are fiercely competing on the pitch today, I assure you. But the owners are really a club. Sometimes people refer to teams in Europe as clubs, but my team's not a club. We're a team. You have to try out. You can get fired. We can hire people, but what is a club is our league. Is that we're all in this together, and we want to make sure that we're giving a really good show to our fans and making sure our players feel taken care of and our coaches have a constructive place to play. So we're super excited about it. Yeah.
All right, so speaking of the show, you got Jack Del Rio leading your show. When he came over, it seemed like it sent ripples throughout all of Europe and really all of even football in America because of the category of he was as a player, as a coach, winning Super Bowls, etc. What have you seen his impact is on your team and this league?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think we're doing and Mason's doing and the EFA is doing is professionalizing American football in a way that hasn't been done before. And when you bring in a tenured NFL head coach like Jack Del Rio, he sets the tone for that professionalism. I mean, the way he speaks to our guys, the way he runs practice, the way he approaches the game. I mean, he's so cool about it and nonchalant about it. But the professionalism is contagious throughout the organization.
And Mason, we asked about the league, but talk a little bit about in Prague. People don't think of Prague as like a hotbed of American football yet.
Right.
But yet it's an amazing sports country. And, talk about how the community has really rallied around your team and the atmosphere you guys are building there in Prague.
Yeah, it's gotten. We're getting more fans coming out to the games every season. I took over the team in 2023. The team went 1-11, so we weren't, going back to my previous point, nobody was putting good football on the field. So now with good football on the field and something else going back to the league, but I'll also mention in Prague, we're now broadcasting globally on YouTube in English, so anybody can see us. Young fans who don't know if they like this sport yet or not can tune in and check us out, and I think that's going to inure to our benefit. And just like here in France, they're on Molotov in French, and we have a Czech broadcast available on Sporty TV. So we're playing one game at a bigger stadium this season, and I think we're going to have a lot more attendees of the game. We've really improved to the point John made earlier about our game day experience. We have a big fan zone that starts 3 hours before kickoff, very family friendly. We want families to come out, kids to come out. It's not like soccer. You won't get yelled at if you're not in your seat at kickoff. There won't be any riots or fights. So it's a very family-friendly, fun day out in the summertime. And one of the things we have going for us in Czech Republic is soccer and hockey are very popular, as they should be. They're wonderful sports, but there's not really a third most popular sport. We're not competing with rugby or basketball or anything like that in Czech Republic. So I'm very excited about our prospects there. And the kids are getting more excited. We've got 2 kids from the Prague Lions who are going to play in the NCAA next year. One was one of our imports, Arthur Kingdom, who was a British player who played for the Prague Lions. He's playing for UCF, which is a Big 12 school, this autumn. And one of our Czech players who's playing today, Maddie Beely, is going to Mino State, NCAA Division II on scholarship. We think it's the first Czech player to get a scholarship to play football in the U.S., and so we're very excited about that kind of stuff.
You know, that just speaks to the growth of the game. You know, I look at what happened to basketball, and you see the growth of the game. And you know, the last 2 first-round picks, number 1 pick in the draft, were from France. And Yogi, you're around a lot of big-time college atmospheres. What fires you up about this atmosphere here in Europe?
Well, I think the most exciting thing is when people come over, when coaches come over from college football and the NFL, and they've all made their way here over the last couple seasons, they're blown away with the passion that the fans have, the choreography. You mentioned soccer. It's got a version of that even some college teams now are taking on in terms of how they want to promote their fandom within their own institutions. And then just an opportunity. I mean, Kyle Sweet is the all-time leading receiver in the history of European football, and he's going to be here today, who played at Washington State, played for the LA Rams, and then found his way to have a graceful goodbye to the game. And that's what I love about him. We all have young kids who aspire to play in this league. You 2 played in Europe. I'm kind of curious from your perspective what it is like to watch these players come over here from the U.S. and homegrown and thrive on the gridiron.
Yeah, I mean, I got my first taste of European football in 2008 for your Catania Elephants in the IFL. And I remember we were driving to our first home game, and the bus pulled over. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? Pregame meal, smoke break. The whole offensive line gets off, starts smoking. I'm like, I am not in Kansas anymore. But, you know, to see the growth of the game, to see now that all players are paid, that we have cheerleaders and professional broadcasts, it's just so exciting. And, you know, John, opening day here for you. What makes you most excited? You played in Paris. How have you seen it grow since your time here?
Yeah, 17 years ago, I played for the Flash de la Courneuve. And that trip and that time I spent here in Paris opened up my eyes to kind of what was possible here. And it really is a dream come true to, 15 years later and now 17 years later, come back and build this team from scratch and put in the work every day, win hearts and minds, put butts in seats, sell tickets, sell merch, sell beer. And I mean, we're so excited to the Saints are coming here this October to play the Steelers. So the world is seeing it, the NFL is seeing it. Football in Europe is inevitable, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Awesome. Well, just thank you guys so much for joining us for a little pregame talk. Mason, John, competitors on the pitch, but hopefully enjoy a drink off of it and work to build something together. Yogi, excited to have you here. We have Jeff Haxton from Texas Tech and Andrew Weidinger calling the game today in English, and you're in for a treat. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you on the broadcast.
Good evening from historic Stade Bauer in Saint-Ouen, France, where tonight the Paris Musketeers open their home schedule in front of what is shaping up to be an electric crowd just outside the heart of Paris. Welcome to live EFA football on YouTube. I am Jeff Haxton alongside former EFL champion coach, former Madrid Bravos head coach, and a man currently enjoying what we all can just describe as a very confusing gap year. Andrew Weidinger. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the introduction, Jeff. I really appreciate it. Yes, I am out of coaching this summer. Life, though, really not a whole lot different here. Instead of my wife and kids bossing me around in Europe, They're just doing the same thing here in the States. So more or less the same deal for me.
Well, and then we have the opportunity to get away and watch some great football here in the first year of the EFA. So retirement, anything different for you? I mean, I'm sure you're going to be back.
Yeah, I'll be back at some point, God willing. We'll see how that all plays out. But you say retirement. You and I both spent, I feel like it was probably about 6 hours working on the pronunciation of these French and Czech names. So it's not how I really envisioned retirement, but here we are.
Yeah, and patience for us, too, would be grace you could extend our way because of our dialect and learning Czech and French as we, in a couple of weeks, we'll be seasoned pros. But this one, it ought to be interesting. This environment already feels special. Paris, excited to be back playing in the city, just a little bit away from the world-famous antique market with their red company, smoke in the air, drums going. This feels much closer to European soccer culture than maybe American fans that are just now dialing us up would expect from football over here.
Yeah, no question. Great fan support in Paris. You can hear it. You can hear the vuvuzelas or the horns there in the background. Like, it's very much a soccer feel to a lot of these games. And Paris, an important market for the league, not just because of their size, but because there's so much great talent in France. France needs to have a team in a Premier League playing football. And if the Musketeers, if they can make that football, if they can make it as popular there as it is here, they can really cement themselves really as one of the premier franchises in all of Europe.
On the field level, we get to see a run out of the Prague Lions coming out onto the field. 0-1 this season, a loss in the opening week, but you can see them proudly bearing their flags, the Czech flag and the Lion flag. They are a team that is young and upcoming. Czech football a little bit behind other places in Europe. Head coach James Brooks, his second year with Prague, first year as the head coach. What identity are they trying to build, Coach?
Yeah, they want to be a physical team. They signed 4 offensive linemen. They're trying to be physical up front in the trenches. They know they had some success last year. That was nice. It was fun to go out, win some games, but that's just got to be the starting point for these guys. They have to find a way to build on that. Tough draw week 1 with the Nordic Storm, possibly the best team in this league. But Coach Brooks was a defensive lineman.
Physical.
Yeah, he wants this team to be a high motor, physical team. We'll see how can they build off of that week 1. What lessons do they take away from that?
All right, here come the Paris Musketeers for their home opener. French flag fly week 1.
No question. That thing came down to the wire. They hung in there. Everybody's got to establish identity. Paris is no different. Offensively, they really struggled for about 3.5 quarters and then looked pretty solid for that final quarter. They've got to find a consistency offensively. That defense, that's a hard-nosed, tough-playing unit. It has been since the franchise was established.
All right, let's talk about Jack Del Rio, linebacker, 11 years in the NFL, coached the Raiders, Jags, Super Bowl champion as a defensive coordinator in Baltimore. We know that the defensive identity is going to be there. What's he going to do with the offense and Magic Zach at quarterback?
Yeah, I coached Zach a couple years back in Barcelona, 2022. Zach, I believe, led the league in passing. Probably should have been the MVP of the league that year. Obviously a little biased. But Zach is a unique talent. Zach is a dual threat, and Zach brings a lot of different skill sets to an offense. You've got to figure out how to kind of harness his abilities, lead him in the right direction, and take advantage of what it is he does best.
James Brooks, young, talented, hard-nosed, knows Czech, knows Europe football. He's described as a Euro football lifer, deeply understands the culture. That's why he's been selected after Dave Werner to be the head coach of Prague, and there's that scowl of Jack Del Rio, and it doesn't matter where he's got the whistle around his neck. He is ready to compete, and we're getting closer to kickoff here between Paris 1-0 and Prague 0-1, and we're having the national anthems coming your way. We will observe those right now. the Czech national anthem, or Czechia, depending on where you're from. Now time for the French national anthem. Coach Weidinger, one thing that's really unique about the EFA, 6 teams, and you've got 4 Americans. You can do some imports, but this is about national pride. It's what's going to get these fans here in Paris, in Germany, identifying with their teams. It's their countrymen, right?
No question, the backbone of all these teams is the homegrowns. When we watch today, the guys that are making the majority of the plays are going to be the Americans. They're going to be the importee players. But the guys up front, the guys that are grinding it out, the reason you win or lose in this league is your homegrowns. The A's and the E's are there to support that homegrown unit. That's where the development has to happen. We hopefully can continue to see that. We've seen it a little bit over the last couple of years. Hopefully we continue to see it with all these teams in this league.
Jalen Henderson was the quarterback for Paris last year. He's the quarterback for Prague this year. What do you see in him?
He's, again, a dual threat type guy, very good, very mobile, threw for something close to 100 touchdowns in a season in the GFL with the Potsdam Royals. He's a great player. It'll be interesting to see how he holds up against this Paris defense. Paris up front, they get after you. Henderson's going to have to manage that.
And then you see Magic Zach Edwards. He has so many records. In game 1, though, it was his first game in a while. Took last year off for family reasons. 12 for 24, a couple of touchdowns, a couple of picks. Is it all about finding the rhythm again for Magic Zach?
No question. I don't know how you take a year off as a football player and then jump right back into it and expect to have the success that you used to have. Zach's going to be just fine. Interesting, Zach notes, Zach loves to get hit. Zach needs to get in that game, and he needs to take a couple of hits so he can kind of calm down and get in the rhythm of the game. Usually you don't want your quarterback getting hit. Zach's actually the opposite of that. He'll settle down. He'll be good to go today.
Yanni Guadfell there coming out for Paris. See the captains shaking hands. Ugo Takadem for Paris. There's Henderson for Prague. Jan Kurs. The coaches love him. He's a safety and a homegrown product. He's wearing number 7 right there as the greetings are happening. Marek Hruban.
Captains, welcome to week 2 of the European Football Alliance season. Joining me at the coin toss is Mr. Johan Schwan-Schubert, who is the chairman of the stadium company of the stadium that we're playing in here today. Okay, this is the coin we are going to use. The head is the head and the eagle is tails. Prague, you're the visiting team, so it will be your call. Your call is tails. Prague have called tails. Sir, will you please toss the coin? And it's a head. Paris, you've won the toss. You're going to defer. You're going to take the ball. You want to take the? You're going to take the ball? Yeah. Paris, do you want to kick the direction you're facing, or do you want to kick the other way? Okay, captains, please swap sides. Prague will receive the ball in the first half. Best of luck to both teams.
All right, there our official. He was leading on the Prague players a little bit. Who, again, most of those guys right there speaking Czech might not have understood everything. Also, Jakub Smutny. Give him the ball. Just say, hey, you want the ball? Yes, go, take it. Let's go play. And that's what we're about to do here. I can't wait to see Jalen Henderson. One of the things, though, Coach, they said they got to protect him. It's in the interior where Prague is going to try and hold up under this pressure that Paris is going to bring. It's going to be relentless.
No doubt. And Prague is a lot like everybody else in the league. Like, they're struggling to find offensive linemen. They brought in, I believe, 4 E spots are used on that offensive line, and they've got a good one. And but again, Paris, a homegrown unit up front, and they get after you. That is a well-developed, well-coached unit, and like I mentioned, has been since the inception.
Ken Hike and Jalen Embry, both from the USA, are set to return this kickoff. It's 88 degrees in Paris, sun shining, gorgeous day. It's perfect for EFA football, and we'll have the NFL rules as far as it pertains to the kickoff from Dean Faithful. The veteran is about to strike the ball and put the home opener for the Paris Musketeers into play, and we're underway. Little chip shot of a kick there. And Prague's going to bring it back to the left sideline, and then punched out of bounds is Ken Hike Jr., the cornerback. And a little bit of talking afterwards. I like the emotion early. Let's play football.
Yeah, kind of a trademark, a little hallmark of the French team there. Guys, let's just play some football. Holy smokes, right out of the chute. Ken Hike did a great job week 1, kick returns. Got hemmed up a little bit there, but I would expect him to get loose if he gets a couple opportunities in this game.
Good job from Marcus Scharbel. Is the defensive end in this set as Henderson readies for the first snap of tonight. Zone read, handoff, plunging out to the 40. Thomas Gwynn. Make that Adam Żużelka. Coach, you know a lot about Żużelka.
Yeah, as a coach in the European leagues, Żużelka's a guy I've had my eye on for a number of years. Good runner, downhill, runs with a purpose. Love him.
Physical, can get in there and gash. Also has some speed. Henderson on second down. Same play. He's able to blast and wiggle for about 1. It's going to bring up an early third down here for the Prague Lions, who lost to the Nordic Storm, where they were impressed with what they saw from them last Friday.
Yeah, Storm is a well put together roster with extremely good coaching. Good news for Prague is not going to have to face the Nordic Storm every week.
That's a tough opening schedule for these Lions, and they've got a third down and short here in their first offensive series. 3 receivers, now 4 options left. Henderson steps up, fires, almost intercepted. Running through that with the defense for Paris, Yanni Goodfeld.
Yeah, Goodfeld, a guy that the Frankfurt coaches last week were talking about, saying this guy is all over the field making plays. Big-time addition to football in Europe. He'd been playing in Canada the last couple seasons.
That was intended for Jan Kurs. He hit the deck. And now Prague is forced to punt on its opening series. Prague in white, red helmets, the navy blue for Paris, as this ball is struck with a right foot. Angling towards the far side boundary. I believe there could be a flag down. So you see the boot that comes off Marek Hruban. Nice job on defense there by Lucas Corum. And there's Magic Zach. They say he's more cerebral this year, thinking outside the box. As this drive will begin at the 14-yard line of Paris, there were no flags down. Will we see them try to open this thing up as we've got 4 wideouts here, Coach?
It'll be interesting to see. Looks like a little RPO there. Finds Remy. Remy, great guy. Good job on the little 5-yard stick route, Zach, there, hitting Remy.
Remy Berthelin, a French veteran, great hands, knowledge. Got the first touchdown of the year last week. Alexander Borkovic. We'll hear his name a lot. He's a linebacker for Prague. He's 26 years old. Zach Edwards, 210 yards through the air. He's also the team's leading rusher at the moment. And that's a wide open look over the middle and room to run across midfield and down at the 46-yard line. Berthelin.
Yeah, looks like Zach found him there in the slot, running maybe a little seam route. Great catch and run by Remy. Nice job.
Berthelin, big-time target. He's just so sure with his hands. I think Zach Edwards appreciates that. He, at this point, is like, if I throw it to number 5, he's going to catch it.
Yeah,
From
Zach and Remy been together a long time.
Into enemy territory. It's a bubble screen out to the left side, jammed up, but still 4 or 5 yards as the catch is made by Ugo Takadim. We'll hear his name a lot.
Takadim also the backup quarterback for this squad. Definitely a multi-talented guy. He's really emerged as a receiver over the last couple of seasons.
Joined Paris in 2023. First 3 years, 101 receptions, 1,408 yards, 17 touchdowns, and just 36 ELF games. He's playing in his second EFA game. If we've got second down and 6 here for the Musketeers on the move. On the zone read, a bullet over the middle, and it's wide of its intended target. He was looking for Dosso on that little comeback towards the middle. There's the tight end going out.
Yeah, they ran that play a couple times last week against Frankfurt. Kind of a man answer there. They got the double press outside, tried to get the slant from the outside, obviously unable to connect.
Paris defenders can't wait for their chance again. Through 2024, Zach Edwards, 12,577 passing yards, and he can run it. Open field 40, 30, 25, and pinwheel down to the 21 for the Musketeers' leading rusher early on in the season. He just finds a seam and goes.
No question. Zach sees all those guys up on the line of scrimmage. He knows the blitz is coming, and if he can get past that first wave, he's going to make some hay. I don't know. I know Zach, and I don't know that Zach was thinking a whole lot about throwing that ball right there. He knew he can beat one man that comes free on the blitz, and he's going to be off and running.
Charbel, as you just saw there, played tight end for T-Roll, the Raiders. Willing blocker, working on his pass game. That's a better job by Prague there. Kandar had no space, and it was mashed up inside by Martin Mashik.
Yeah, it looked like they were running counter there towards Smutny's side. Smutny probably the best of these homegrown defensive linemen right there. You want to run that one, maybe go the other way with it.
Yeah, big Smutny over there holding down that defensive tackle position. 29-year-old Czech product. He picked up 2. Empty backfield for Edwards. Throws it. Touchdown, Paris! Reeled in by Takadim. And the first strike from Zach Edwards. Magic Zach's first act.
Great job by Zach, getting on the move, keeping his eyes down the field, finding his man in the back of the end zone. Great touch on the ball to get it over those underneath defenders. Nice job. Prague defense going to have to find a way to slow these guys down.
It's interesting you talk about Takadim. What a weapon he is faithful. After a high snap, strikes it beautifully up into the construction. It is good. 7-0 Paris with the lead, but stick on Takadim for a little bit. He can go backup quarterback, and you think, okay, backup quarterback, Wildcat, right? Yeah, he can do that, but he's thrown for more yards than he's rushed. So he's truly a backup quarterback.
Yes, absolutely. And it's a problem because he can get into that Wildcat. He can do all the quarterback run game, and he can throw the ball. Like, if you found a quarterback like that, like you're in hog heaven. You've got the best possible combination of skills right there. Now, the American quarterbacks, they've got so many more reps. They grew up playing more competitive versions of football, 7-on-7, all those things. Very, very hard for a homegrown quarterback to crack a starting rotation. But Takadim, very, very good for being a homegrown quarterback, and really they don't lose a whole lot when he goes into the game.
All right, Faithful will again chip it down the middle of the field, angling a little bit toward the far side numbers. And here comes Prague to the 25-30, space to the 35-37-yard line. And Prague will take over right there with decent starting field position as Jalen Embry gets a chance. The American cornerback, as you see some of the blocking down the field. Coach, good little space, good little tunnel to run through.
Yeah, they did a great job that first week against Frankfurt on kick returns. Like I said, if they can get a crease, they're going to hit it. And good field position to start this drive off.
Going to begin at their own 37-yard line. Prague needs to move the chains some. It is a warm day here in Paris. 88 degrees. You saw some of those players getting up under the canopy. Many of the fans trying to find shade as Henderson readies for his first snap of this series. Zone read, handoff, plugged up. And that's going to give us time to talk about this defensive line. It's the strength of this French Paris team. Mamadou Sy, l'animal, the veteran. Elton Mendez, defensive tackle. And they go deep with their defensive line and defensive ends, Coach Weidinger.
Yes, absolutely. They're big in the middle and athletic on the edges. Jack Lowe, in addition to this line, you're going to see 55, 44 on the edge. Going to be making a lot of plays today.
Henderson looking across this line with his old team is going to try and keep it, and it's bottled up at the 40-yard line. Tried to get Paris looking one way. They kept their eyes trained on what is the best weapon in Henderson. And C was there to say, see you on the ground. I love his celebrations.
That was quarterback counter. They were trying to run it back to that backside with a little eye candy to the front side there. Mamadou beat that back block. We go Mamadou play on his name all day. Mamadou says, Mama, don't try running that play. I'll see if I can come up with something better as we go on. But great play in the interior.
All right, Prague's got to try and get something into a receiver's hand here at 3rd and 8. Henderson, pocket collapsing, feels the pressure, underhands it beautifully. First down, Lions. Across the 50 to the 49. Holy playmaking there as Adam Żużelka is the bailout safety valve.
He was in a lot of trouble right there. I have no clue how he made that happen. Nicely done, finding somebody. Good job by Żużelka getting him the first down. Let's see if they can build off of that. They need to get some sort of momentum string a couple positive plays together.
Put that on the highlight reel. I think Mr. Mahomes needs to see that one with the Chiefs. This is Zajelka. And that's him right there. The sledgehammer style downhill.
Great surge up front. That E offensive line getting some movement. You can see a little defensive holding there not getting called. I don't know the defensive holding up front's going to get called a whole lot in any level of football. Great surge. If they're going to get surge like that, keep running the football.
All right, Coach, do us a favor. There's a lot of new viewers. When you say E-imports, describe for us.
Yes, so every team you've got your homegrowns, and you can have essentially an unlimited number of homegrowns. And then you've got 4 American players, 2 on each side of the ball, and then your E's, 6 guys who are European players but didn't start playing football in the country that your team is based on. So you can bring in 6 of those to supplement the rest of your roster.
It's the first touch for Pavel Prokop. Czech homegrown. Did he get the first down? It was close. James Brooks, European lifer, played in Germany, Poland, Japan, Czech Republic, Arizona State, back in the States.
And Coach Brooks from the same state that I'm from, so he's good in my book.
Absolutely. They did move the sticks. This is going to be a flea flicker. Thrown down the right side and incomplete. No, touchdown Prague. Down the right side, the flea flicker goes cash money for Matthias Billy.
How about Willie Patterson, American receiver there. Played some high school quarterback. I actually brought Willie to Europe a couple years back with the Rhine Fire. We signed Willie. He took a flight out on a Tuesday, landed, came straight to practice. His first game was against the Musketeers. He lands on a Tuesday, buses 8 hours from Dusseldorf to Paris on a Saturday and goes for 100 yards receiving and a score on Sunday. Love Willie. Great job right there on the toss.
There's a little bit of deliberation on the kick. No good. It missed off the foot of Marek Kruban, who is a dependable kicker, and he just missed that one. Ooh, it's close. But those guys underneath the post have the best look in the building, so it misses. So they told us, watch out for Matty Beely, the youngster at 20 years old, and he puts Prague on the board. Again, William Patterson with the touchdown pass. I just love the design. They were kind of pound, coach, and then said, this time we're going to throw it backwards to a receiver and throw it over the top.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to do it. If you're a little bit outmatched, sometimes you got to find ways to generate explosive plays. That's as good as any right there. You're not going to do better than that. Well designed, well executed. Nice toss.
Paris with a 7-6 lead as this kick is away and returnable. Well, we got some excitement in this ball game. And all the way out to the 25-yard line for Paris is Austin Mitchell, an American.
Yeah, Austin Mitchell entering, I believe. Sorry, Coach Axe.
That's okay. No, I was just saying, you just got to love the entertainment value so far on this one, as both these teams trading punches.
Yeah, if they can keep this up, this is going to be, let's get one going down to the wire. That's what we need in Europe. We need these games going down to the wire, keep the fans interested. Blowouts aren't good for the game.
All right, this drive begins at the 25 of Paris. Edwards steps up into the pocket, delivers one. That's a strike out to the 30-yard line. Completed to Doso.
Doso had a great game that first week. Just like Zach had to settle into it a little bit there early in the game, but made a handful of plays, emerged as their #1 receiver. I expect them to be coming back to him a number of times today.
Doso is a man of iron. He's had shoulder surgery, a fractured tibia. He went through the University of Montreal, and here he is standing and making a catch here in professional football. This laser is behind the intended target at the 40-yard line. Zach is not afraid to take chances, Coach.
No, absolutely not. And that's probably, there's every now and then we'll see what we used to call a Zach Edwards special. He'll sail one kind of on the perimeter. That's not necessarily his strength. I don't think that was his fault right there. We saw Austin Mitchell kind of slipping in the grass. For the American audience, this European grass is different. It is very different, and the cleats that we are used to using in football don't necessarily grip. You're going to see guys slip. It's a part of the game.
Edwards wearing the blacked out visor, dancing, deciding until he gets cracked from behind. Jonas Chlava said hello.
Great job by the Prague defense here, finding a way to get a stop, get that ball back. Great motor. Nice job hunting Zach down, getting him on the ground.
Lava almost took the ball out of the grasp of Zach Edwards there. You saw that concussion, and the ball just kind of rolled around a little bit. It's punted away. That was 3rd down. And a great punt as this is going to trickle inside the 20 to the 18-yard line. But Prague comes up with the stop. Here's the punt. Struck by Guadvel. What do you want to see out of this drive?
Sustained drive. Let's see if we can sustain something. Don't need any parlor tricks to generate the explosives. See if your base offense, keep pushing that middle of that defense. I know that is a strength for Paris, but they had some success with it. Keep trying.
Henderson zone read. Jajelka tried to show some shifty there, but ran right into Jordan Godonu.
Yeah, some of this inside zone with the zone read, trying to buy the numbers back in the run game by bringing your quarterback into the game. Still got to get the push if you want to get the yards.
Second down and 8 from the 20. Henderson finds the man on a crossing pattern, and he'll burrow. After the catch, William Patterson.
Sets up this critical 3rd down right here. Paris last week, we saw a lot of man coverage from them in these 3rd and mediums. Let's see what they go to here.
Paris crowd coming alive. Henderson on 3rd and 3. Handoff going to be close. The Czech product, Pavel Prokop, buried his head up into this defensive line. That's the strength. C got there.
Another good play by C there on the interior. Hard to say if they've got it or not. Looks like they gave him the first down.
Yeah, and that's huge for Prague. Keep their defense. It's already a thin club, right? Keep that defense resting and that offense trying to tire out the defense of the Paris Musketeers. Henderson, another zone read, and Prokop off the left guard. Popped several times after a pickup of 3.
Looked like they were pulling that right guard around. I think that's big Jasper Freeze. Jasper played for us in Dusseldorf a couple of years back. Great guy, played at Cal and at Jackson State in college football. Big body.
There's a big body there in Bilasini.
They're real high on him. He's been doing a great job for Prague.
Center is Adam Mashopust. Blitz coming. Henderson fields it. Throws middle. Got his man. Slam on the brakes for a first down to the 40-yard line. Willie P. And Prague moves the chains again.
Came back to that short crossing route there. Had man coverage. Great job getting Willie on the move. Makes a man miss. Jamalcolm Liggins there, number 0, had an unbelievably good game last week. Really shut down Brevin Easton, the American receiver for Frankfurt. Here they're able to get Willie running across the field. Nice catch, nice run by Willie.
Kevin Quiro Diaz on the tackle. You saw a great example there, Coach Drew, as he slid on that stop. It was almost like he was a veteran and he knew he was going to be okay, but he slid to a stop trying to plant and cut
timeout,
and stayed
Prague.
upright. We've got a timeout.
Their first 30-second timeout.
The longer you've been around, the more you understand the issues that you're dealing with. And you know, when I was with the Atlanta Falcons long ago, we practiced at Arsenal, the soccer club in England. We played that London game. And we went out, we had a full-fledged practice schedule, and we got on that grass, and guys were slipping all over the place, and we had to change that practice into a walkthrough. It is different. I have no clue. I don't know one species of grass from another, but I do know that it's drastically different, the soccer grass and what we're used to as football grass.
This is a great time to say hello to Nollins. There's a big Musketeers watch party in New Orleans for today's game at 5:04, Golf and Entertainment. They're watching on a massive 2-story screen where it's conveniently lunchtime. New Musketeers Global Culinary and Cultural Ambassador, Chet DeLongringa, I'm sorry, I didn't get that right, is hosting Parisian New Orleans menu. I don't know about you, Coach, but that's my favorite food on earth.
They've got great food, and I couldn't be happier for those fans in New Orleans. As somebody who coached with the Falcons and Buccaneers, they finally get to watch a good football team play, so that's really good for those guys.
Zajelka just gashes the heart of this Paris defensive interior. Watch this.
Great job, Miguel Cabancaya there at the left tackle spot, coming down, getting on his block. Zajelka cutting right off of his butt, getting downhill. Cabancaya in his 4th year of playing football. I had him his very first day that he ever played organized football in Barcelona 4 years ago. He has come a long way, one of the best tackles in this league, regardless of nationality.
The first quarter is in the books here, and what a treat as we have a 7-6 Musketeer
That is the
lead.
end of the
Paris
first
scored
quarter.
first. Prague answered with a modified flea flicker. And we are at quarter number 1 break. We will step aside. You're watching the EFA on YouTube.
tonight from Frankfurt. American football will be played in Europe for the first time and under a new league umbrella. One of the most historic Euroball franchises faces off with one of the most talented teams on paper entering the inaugural EFA season. European Football Alliance, Year 1, Game 1. Edwards fakes the handoff, fires over the middle, caught at the 28. Big-time connection. Single back, Edwards, snap, throws it over the middle, touchdown Paris with the first touchdown of the EFA season. 2nd and 13, Garber's tucking, now firing back to the end zone, it's caught. Touchdown Paul Cavani-Lenhart. Musketeers with their second play following the turnover. Edwards over the middle, intercepted by Frankfurt. Picked off, still running. At the 30 to the 40, far sideline midfield. He may go. 20, 10, touchdown, pick 6, Frankfurt. Edwards sitting in the pocket. Magic sack, uncorks over the middle, passes caught. Is it a touchdown? Takadam is there. It is. 3:20 clock winding, final quarter. Paris looking for the equalizer. Edwards under duress, now running to his right, sprinting into the end zone. And Magic Zach has tied this game. The Musketeers come to Frankfurt and earn a hard-fought victory in the inaugural game of the European Football Alliance.
As we welcome you back for second quarter action, we flip sides. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Prague, and I think we may have encroachment here. That was a jump into the neutral zone by Elon
Okay, that'll
Mendes.
be 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Now they're trying to say who drew who.
Those defensive
They
linemen,
called it against Paris.
Yeah, if they flinch and the offensive line moves, that's a 5-yard penalty on the defense.
Okay.
There's a lot of debate on that in Europe, and rightfully so. It's extremely difficult to tell. But you get that flinch, offense reacts, that's on the defense.
Elton Mendez. He was an oil man from the outskirts of Paris. Solid up the middle as Henderson now has 1st and 5 from the 31. Snap. Pocket collapses. He's sacked. Back at the 39-yard line. Even Henderson couldn't avoid that avalanche.
Yeah, they were beat up front. Fast. Great push there in the middle again by C. Mama says don't pass. I don't know. I'm working on it. Mama, don't pass the ball. I don't know. I should have written something down before we got in the game, but a great rush up the middle. Penetration in the middle.
Mama, don't play that.
Mama, don't play that. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
Baptiste Polier also helped with the pressure. So that takes away the penalty and more. It's now 2nd down and 12. Right to left in white with the red helmets. Prague, it's a check down for Henderson. He's got 5 wide receivers. Quarterback keep design. Gets space bouncing out to the 30, where he is ushered out of bounds right there at the 30-yard line. Just trying to spread everybody out there, Coach.
Yep, and they got a 0 blitz, it looked like. Good job by Henderson making the unblocked defender there, missing the hole. Good recovery by the defense to get him out of bounds. You do not want that guy getting loose in your secondary.
Zachary Edwards able to push him out of bounds, and we've got a 3rd down coming up. You can hear the swell, the red company, the drums that make the atmosphere of the EFA. Henderson, 2 to each side. 3rd down and 4. Zone read. Jajelka does not have the distance, maybe 2.
Yeah, let's see if they're just setting up their 4th down call here. Good job by Zerby closing that edge right there, getting the guy on the ground short of the sticks. Let's see what they got cooked up for 4th down. Looks like the offense coming off the field.
4th-year veteran, pass rusher, always up there in the sack categories, as it will be a field goal attempt for Hruban. He's going to have to square this one up. He's already missed an extra point. And that's nowhere close. Hruban looks to the sky in disgust as Paris gets the stop.
Tough kicking an adventure in Europe. As an American, we would think that this is the land of soccer, our American version of football. We bring it over here. We should have a bunch of kickers. And as it was explained to me, my players said, hey, if we were good at playing soccer, that's what we'd be doing. We wouldn't be out here playing football. So very hard to find consistent kicking in the European game, and that kind of translates to everybody in the league.
That was around a 45-yard field goal attempt that missed. 1st down and 10, Paris from their own 35. Zach Edwards fakes the jet sweep and gets slammed before he could get going. And that's a win for this Prague defensive line, as Marek Danik just says, no, you're not going to make it through here, Magic Zach.
Yeah, good job up front. Prague going to have to stiffen up. Defense is going to have to get that ball back, see if they can't generate a little bit more momentum. Would have loved to have seen the offense go for it on that 4th down here deep in the Paris territory.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like I said, going to have to take some risks. Edwards, quick out surprise to the right side, incomplete. Outside the numbers, intended for Mitchell. It was Jalen Embry on the coverage, and he's out there on an island, Coach.
Embry is an explosive athlete, very good, battled a number of injuries over the last couple of seasons. Didn't start the season here with Prague, but they brought him in this week. In my opinion, as good as any coverage player in this league.
Yeah, you can see with the number 3, doesn't have the nameplate on there. Kind of shows that he has just showed up, and what a play he made there. This is 3rd down and 9 for Paris. Edwards, magic, slides down with a bump at the 50-yard line and says, that's my 1st down.
Again, cannot let Zach get loose on you. He loves to run the ball. We would tell Zach, hey, don't take those hits. Slide down. We're playing a game in Cologne. He slides, still gets blasted, comes to the sideline. He's MFing me saying, hey, you told me to slide, and they still hit me. I said, fine, just run. Do your thing. Doesn't faze him.
On the tackle. Doesn't. Now, you said he likes to get hit. And if he can manage that gets that flow, I think, back. We talked about him being more cerebral. 1st down and 10. This is your basic handoff with a huge hole. The burst still going inside the 20-yard line. Blast off over the left side. First and 10, Musketeers.
Yeah, GT counter right there. Kondar following his blocks, making guys miss at the second level of the defense. Well executed. Counter plays, hard to defend, hard to get those linebackers over the top with the pullers. Good design.
Emmanuel E. Caro's got to do a better job of tackling there. That replay really showed he was trying to just knock him down. You got to wrap that guy up around the knees. First down and 10 from the 20. It's a busted play. Edwards trying to make something out of it. Hot footing out of one situation, downed at the 25-yard line. And that play was going nowhere as soon as it was hiked.
Yeah, not sure what went wrong there, but Zach trying to salvage it, unable to do it.
Jalen Embry, they're providing the boundary. We're at 9 minutes, 40 seconds. This first half going by fast. Paris leading 7-6. and on the doorstep of the red zone. But that play lost 4. It's 2nd and 14. Edwards slings left. They got back the lost yardage.
Really good job by Kurse, not letting the shallow cross turn into a big gain. Makes that catch, gets him on the ground right now, limiting the yardage. Well played defensively.
Takadem has been the number 1 target for Edwards so far in this game. Zach Edwards, the 2024 ELF Offensive Player of the Year, over 2,200 yards for Barcelona back in 2021 as he zips over the middle, nearly intercepted. Closest to that one was Icaro for Prague.
Yeah, they're living in some of this quick game world here, kind of maybe an RPO, hard to say for sure with that blocking up front. You can see Zach doesn't have a great spiral on his football. He is a productive player, but not a pure passer. Some of what he's best at, kind of pushing the ball down the field a little bit more, not necessarily in that quick game family of routes.
This will be a field goal attempt. This one is up, and it is good. Paris stretches the lead to 10-6. Dean Faithful. God save the Dean as he drills it through.
Faithful's got some experience playing. I believe he played in the CFL for a while, or at least was in camp in the CFL. He's been helping out with kickers throughout Europe over the last couple of seasons. Solid dude.
James Brooks speaking life into his players. Prague defensive coordinator last year. This team bounced back, Prague, from a terrible year 2 years ago to 7-5, first winning season in the ELF. For Czech football to gain strides, and I already see gains from week 1. I don't know about you, but for them to gain strides, what must they do? Develop that young talent within the country?
Yeah, ultimately it is the strength of your homegrowns, and it's tough because we're playing games today, and the guys that are getting developed aren't going to be playing for 4-5 years from now, and so you've got to take some of your lumps now before you've got these guys in a position to truly compete at an international level. But having a league like this and having this exposure, obviously great, helping development.
It is returnable, sprinting middle hike. Now he goes out right. Stiff arms one, ganged up on. First to the fray was Lokman Najim.
Sometimes trying to bounce this ball back across the field, kind of outran his blocks right there. Maybe had it schemed up that way, but typically kick returner, you want to get going as fast as you can, as forward as you can. You do not want to stop your feet and change direction if you can avoid it.
Assess Jalen Henderson's performance so far.
He's been solid. He's been under duress in some passing situations, converted a couple of those third and shorts. Good decision-making on the zone read stuff. Here we go, getting the ball out of his hands quick. Good job by the Paris defense rallying to the football, though. Flag on the ground.
This is just our second penalty. Catch was made by Matty Bealey, who has the touchdown reception for Prague. Bealey sure-handed. We'll see what this penalty is about. Tackle was made.
Ineligible player downfield, offense, number 78, 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
That's hard to do when that play comes out of there so fast.
Yeah, it's tough with the NFL rules, RPOs. A lot of what you do has to come off of either outside zone or slow developing gap schemes. If you're running inside zone like that, like I believe they were right there, there's a very real possibility. You only have 1 yard. If your lineman is further than that 1 yard, yeah, you're going to get called for it.
So back him up 5 to the 15. Henderson leaning forward, barking out instructions. Heat coming up the middle, had to get rid of it, incomplete. Well, that was all kinds of pressure surging up the middle from Jack Lowe.
Yeah, Lowe had a free run at the quarterback. A little hard to tell where he came from right there, just off the edge. Tackle, looks like they got a squeeze. Tackle didn't get the call. Good job with his striking Henderson there in that chest area. I know his helmet comes up. I thought initially maybe hit him in the head. That was good with his targeting there, not a penalty.
No, sir. That was squared up shoulders. Boom from Lowe. 7:34 left in the second period here in Paris. Prague backed up behind the chains here on 2nd down and 15, and they may use a timeout. The play clock was winding down low.
And noise, the factor of noise in Europe, and you're going to say, hey, there's 4,000 people at this game or 10,000 people at this game. In the NFL, they're dealing with 80,000. They allow artificial noisemakers at these games. The loudest game I've ever been at, we played in Switzerland, and there might have been 400 people there, but 3 dudes with air horns right behind us, we couldn't hear a thing.
There was a camera person in the end zone while the ball was live and ready for play. We shut the game down to deal with that. We will reset the play clock to 25 and start again.
Okay, so we had a little media interference there. That's okay.
Somebody get the
They
camera
shut it
guy
down.
straight. Holy smokes, what are we doing?
Hey,
Nice job.
It's week 2. It's week 2 of the EFA, baby.
Great recognition by the official crew, though. Unbelievable.
All right, you got 5 wideouts for Henderson, who leans in at the 10 on 2nd and 15. Heat coming from the edges, steps up into the pocket, fires it right side where it's complete. Boy, I tell you, they're really starting to love Matty Bealey.
Looked like man coverage. A little tough to say what Matty was running there, but let's see if we can see here.
It's almost a little stop route there.
Yeah, looks like maybe got Amir Kalani there, number 3. Great job by Kalani over the last couple of years developing as a player, as that nickel for this Paris defense. Looks like maybe got him running and threw the brakes on, able to get that catch.
Has 17 yards. Moves the sticks, 32-yard line of Prague territory. 7:05 left in the second. Henderson wants the little bubble to the middle. It's grabbed and out to the 35-yard line.
Speed screen to Willie Patterson out there on the perimeter. Raheem Collis, though, he's got to get that block. You can't miss that block. That's what gets the play started. Willie shouldn't have to take that ball all the way back into the middle of the field. You can see Liggins getting over the top of the block, forcing that ball to continue to his help there in the middle.
Ilan Barbaras also there tracking. Barbaras is one of the leaders. He's the Mike linebacker at the university level in Canada, over 108 tackles. He's the tone setter, the guy with his hands on his knees in the middle. It's a zone read and a punishing run. Not a lot to it, but still, it sets the tone out to the 39-yard line. And it's our man Zhuzulka, who keeps, you can see, wearing down Paris a little bit. The Musketeers have the lead, but that defense has been on the field a long time.
No question. Keep pounding. Don't abandon the run. That's going to play right into Paris' hands, even if you're only getting 2-3 yards a pop.
East Coast Andrew Weidinger. I'm Jeff Haxton. Thank you for joining us for Paris against Prague. This is a huge 3rd down and 3 for the Lions. Henderson by his lonesome. Snap. Quick. Is that intercepted? I thought it was intercepted. Kalani says that's my ball. It looked like it popped up after hitting the intended target and was headed the other way for 6, but it's ruled incomplete. Let's see. Oh, that's picked.
Yeah, no question. True 6-man cover 0. They're blitzing everybody. Everybody else just playing man coverage. Miscommunication up front for Prague right there. They had a free runner off both edges of that offensive line. That cannot happen. Maybe the ball hits the ground there before it pops into the air. Hard to say for sure. Let's see if we can Obviously, that's what the refs think happened.
Yeah, I'd love to see it from that last angle that we had. Kalani thought he had the interception. Another punt away. Fair catch made and completed at the 20-yard line. Snared by Bertolet.
And, you know, as American football fans, we say, hey, challenge that play. One thing you have to realize is as you can see, some of the camera angles, they're just – it's not like an NFL game where you got 30 cameras on this field. I was the challenge guy for the Buccaneers in the NFL, and we didn't want to challenge plays because we knew the camera angles were going to be tough, and the refs don't want to overturn it. You don't have a guy in the box here. If the refs say one thing, odds are that's what's going to end up happening. Very risky to challenge in the European leagues.
When James Brooks agreed to become the head coach, it was pushed upon him that he must be the defensive coordinator as well. And you can see why his team has really bowed its collective backs here against this high-powered, potent Paris offense. About 2nd down and 7 upcoming as the handoff goes over the right side, make it left side for Jason Bafunda.
Bafunda been on and off with this Musketeers team. Well-known player in the French leagues. I believe he was with the Flash. Great career in those French semi-professional leagues.
He had 10 carries for 30 yards in the opener and the win in game 1. And he's hit immediately over the left side. Jakub Smutny.
Smutny with the thumbs down. Gotta love it. That is a big human being there playing on that right side of the Prague defense. They say he's their best defensive player. I'm inclined to believe it.
Some of these Prague defensive linemen, they're doing a good job of taking up space to allow the linebackers and other guys from the secondary to come down and make hits. That's just what I'm seeing, Coach.
No question. And that's their job. Don't let those linemen get to the backers. You can keep them from getting to the backers. You've done a hell of a job.
Edwards. Time. Launches deep down the right side. Caught! All the way into Prague territory at the 34-yard line. It's Doso bringing in the biggest play of the first half.
Oh, that's tough. They were in man coverage. I don't know who lost. Oh, Jalen Embry not staying in man. Looked like everybody else was in man. Obviously, there's a little back and forth between the coach and a couple players there on the sideline. I have to assume miscommunication. Embry dropped his man thinking it was zone. Zach punted it out to him.
Also a great job of getting in the way from Gomez Kachanga.
Give him the assist.
He just happened to run a little interference. They're going quickly. Edwards spinning, whirling, and getting rid of it wisely there to live another down. 2nd down and 10 coming up. 3 minutes left here in the second.
Tough break for Paris right there. That's a touchdown if they can protect. They had the double post coming from the top of your screen. Deep crossing route running in behind that post. He was wide open. That was going to catch and run.
That previous pickup was 43 yards. To Dosa. Edwards checks the wristband. Handoff. Seam. Near a first down. He's going to be about a yard short. That's Bafunda. A little extracurricular afterwards. I'm afraid we might have a Lion down injured.
They went back. That was the GT counter again. They're pulling the guard and the tackle. G guard, T tackle. Both pullers coming around. We've seen both teams run that today. Again, same situation. Hard for the backers to get over the top.
Officials, timeout for an injured player.
Looked like it might have been Jalen Embry down. Hopefully he's okay. Like I mentioned earlier, battled some injuries the last couple of seasons.
Embry described as a quiet guy, Oh, and he did. He took a smash.
Oh,
my.
Nice finish.
That was like a battleship coming in there from Laik Vonti. All right, this is 3rd down and 4. Pushing. Looks like he's got it. That's Kandar.
Right back to the well on the GT counter.
Time is ticking. Paris moves the chain. The crowd appreciates the effort and the blocking on the left side.
Vonti's showing some nasty finish. To be honest, I didn't know who he was coming into today. I like that guy. That guy can play some football.
Timeout has been taken.
That is the 2-minute warning.
Because of the 2-minute warning. The coach, it seems imperative here for Prague. They're not in a bad situation if they can hold Paris to 3. If Paris gets a touchdown, they're up by 2 scores. Paris takes all the momentum to the locker room, most likely. Defense bends its back, hold them to a field goal, 1-score game, and Prague's like, we're in this thing.
No question. Got to keep this thing a 1-score game heading into the locker room.
How would you be on those drums, Coach?
Goodness, I personally, this is one man's opinion, they got to get these things out of these stadiums. Like I said, we were disrupted by 3 guys in one stadium. Some of this artificial noise, it's a little much for me, but I'm kind of soft, so who knows. I'm not the drum guy.
Hey, at least you can admit it.
If it gets butts in the seats, and ultimately that's what we need in Europe. We need people coming to the games. If you're watching this game today and you are in Paris, we need you to go to the games. If you loved watching football, American football, you love watching it being played in your home country, you've got to go. And I know that that's a big ask, and everybody's got a lot going on in life. But the more people at these games, the more likely this is to survive.
So coming out of the 2-minute warning, draw me up a play for your guy, Zach Edwards.
Ooh, Zach, let everybody see if they're going to blitz to try to knock you out of field goal range, and do your thing, Zach. You take off running.
He is the team's leading rusher. If that pocket collapses, I can see some room coming available in the middle, and he is shifty. He can run. First quarterback in ELF history with over 2,000 yards.
He scored a touchdown late in that Frankfurt game. Frankfurt, well-designed blitz, had a free runner right down the pipe. Zach just shrugged him off, ran it in for the touchdown. That is vintage Zach Edwards. Yep, looks like maybe
they're stacking the box. Yeah.
Maybe a little bluff.
They got us to look at it. Pressure is coming from the outside, dumps it that way. Oh, Kandar fell down at the 20-yard line. The turf monster shows up.
Now they need to show
I can't believe it.
A little sense of urgency. Let's get back on the line. Excuse me. This time it disappears fast with these NFL timing rules. College football, you get that first down and the clock stops. Not the case in the NFL. The EFA using NFL rules. I know that you want to score with no time left on the clock, but the reality is you just want to score.
Ball is at the 18. Red zone for the Musketeers. 2nd down. A jump pass is completed. Strong hands in a first down. It's Uga Takada.
Tried to get that naked boot going to the left there. Got pressure right off the edge. Great job by the quarterback adjusting, losing a little ground, getting that ball in the air, giving his guy a chance to get the first down.
Lands on his back. Sun shining. Again, we're around 90 degrees in Paris this afternoon on the underneath this May sun. Zone read. Edwards lofts over the middle. That's about as dangerous as it gets. That ball kind of surfed through and had a few opportunities to go catch, pick. And with 27 seconds left, Jack Del Rio looking over going, that was close.
Yep, that's, I believe, the same route combination. They threw an interception in the low red zone last week against Frankfurt. We've seen them. I think that's maybe their third time running it today. I don't know, a second-level RPO like that, they typically have out-breaking routes. Here we've got the in-breaking routes. I'm just not used to seeing them that way. Looks like we're getting the pressure now.
They can still pick up a first down, and Edwards wants to run it. He tucks it, goes to the left side. He's to the 5. Leaps. Is he in? They've got him out at the 1-yard line. Zach Edwards had his hands raised from his back, and now they're saying touchdown. I thought they marked him down at the 1.
Yeah, little indecision by the ref there on the sideline. Looked like he was raising those arms. This is again.
I saw the same thing. Woo! Go for a ride, my man.
Great job on the recovery by Jalen Embry, just trying to get him out of bounds before he can get in.
Boom. It's like riding the mechanical bull at the saloon.
And I know maybe a little critical of that ref right there. That's a very difficult call to make. Very difficult. People don't appreciate how difficult the job that these refs have. This is an extremely fast-moving sport, and to get everything right and to be confident in your call, I don't know how they do it. I just like yelling at them when I feel like they got it wrong.
So let's take it back and diagnose what just happened, right? He goes up. It's close. He's got the best look. His mind, I think, first said, that's 6. But then he was like, no, I think I got him out at the 1. And you know what? It doesn't matter how he did it. He got the call right. He was out at the 1-yard line. So it might not have been like the prettiest, on the execution, but he got it right.
No question. Hard call to make. Hard to make in a high-pressure situation. Nicely done. Official there on the old left sideline.
James Brooks prayed for the Prague Lions in 16, 18, 23 through 24. High motor, defensive-minded head coach. And his defense is trying to hold Paris out as they've got a first down and goal from the 1-yard line. And it looks like tush-push time. Musketeer muscle. Road grading towards the goal line, but no signal for touchdown. Until now. I thought he was in, Coach.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know how that doesn't get in right there. Make sure you got the call right, though. Zach getting in there behind Celestine and Gimby, the center for Paris. Celestine I had. Let's take a look here.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
Well, it's going to be tough to see the old pigskin. It's going to be tough to see the old rock there. There were so many bodies. We're talking 22 bodies surrounding that football. It's going to be really tough to overturn this one. It looks like Paris will go up 16-6, edging toward the break.
Exact same situation last week in the Paris and Frankfurt game. Frankfurt on the other side of the coin, they went with the quarterback sneak. As a casual observer, it looked like he was probably in, but ruled short of the goal line. Inside that 2-minute, review's got to come from upstairs, so not as much of a factor there. They had to review one earlier in the game, but ultimately you want to rule this a touchdown, let it go to review, unless you are confident he didn't get in that situation.
Well, with the sun, you can see there they're trying to block the glare of the sun to get in and see the review as best as they possibly can right there down on the field. It's such a bright day that can be an issue. I know you and I have been outside and seen our share of monitors, and we'd really like to be able to create some darkness around that so you can just see. Here we go.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. It is a touchdown.
Touchdown, Musketeers.
You gotta get a mobile monitor. That's a long jog.
And these guys put their steps in anyway, don't they? Yeah, he's a long ways away. So that's a well-executed drive. You had the big play to start it, the 43-yarder, and then a little mix getting it down into the red zone. Edwards creates, and I think that's kind of what Paris football is all about, what we saw on that drive, as they try to boot through the extra point here to make it 17-6. Faithful. Ooh, the seams were right pointed at the foot there. Flag is down. The kick is good. We'll see what the flag is about.
Might have had a guy over the center. Those guys in that apartment complex back there, they got to shut those windows. They're going to get a football through the window.
That might be what they're trying to do, Coach.
That might be even maybe something an in-game promotion. I'm just spitballing ideas for the Paris guys. You know, just something to think about.
Whatever this flag is probably going to be assessed on the kickoff because they're done with that extra point. I was a little worried there for Dean Faithful as those seems were pointed right at his boot.
Roughing the kicker, defense number 95. Paris have elected to take the 15-yard penalty on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
Tomasz Jęczyk, the 21-year-old defensive tackle, the guilty party on the roughing of the kicker. So they're going to assess that on the kickoff. If you're Prague, what do you do with 18 seconds, Coach?
I'm taking a knee. I'm about as aggressive as it gets as an offensive coach in Europe, and I'm going to take the knee right here. Let's go into the locker room. Let's regroup. We'll talk about what we did well, what didn't go so well, what do we need to fix, and come back out and see if we can't put together a slightly better second half. Now they get a good return right here. Obviously, that changes the game.
Well, now with the penalty, you're going to be able to kick it away from the 50-yard line for Faithful. And he's just going to just barely chip it down the field. This could set up a return. Live ball scooped up. It's Hike. Flag comes flying in. Now you're really going to take a knee.
Absolutely. I believe that was Idris Jean Alphonse on the tackle there. Used to be number 26, I believe. He's been with the organization a couple of years. The hair's the giveaway. He's done a great job
blocking the back. Number 29 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Prague.
Penalty on Zach Weltsidi. He is from Poland. See the sweat pouring off these players.
They're going to that wristband. Might be running a real play here.
Yeah,
Let's see what they got cooked up.
Coach, I saw the same thing.
Feels a little
That's
risky.
his zone read to Mr. Jojelka. See if he can pop one for a few more yards. He's had a good first half, and Prague's going to signal for its final timeout of the
They
first
got 10
half.
on the field. Down a man. Somebody find that 11th guy.
Timeout, Prague. Their third and final 30-second timeout.
Resetting this first half, Zach Edwards, a touchdown pass early. That was the first strike. The next drive, Prague took it the length of the field on a modified flea flicker. They threw it straight backwards. And William Patterson, fired it to Matty Bealey, who was streaking down the right side for 6. There he is, number 12 for this Prague team. And then we just had that lengthy drive for Paris. And I think the MVP of that drive was Doso. He just caught everything that was thrown his way. There's the knee.
Yeah, play it safe. You're pretty deep in your own territory right there.
That is the end of the first half.
You can see another thing that makes Euro football great, this EFA, is just the close quarters. When you go to these games, you feel like you're a part of them. That goalpost is right up against that facility where you can, eventually get some seats there. It's just that comfort. You feel like you're a part of the action. You're going to identify with these players because they're from your country, for these Parisians. And we are at halftime. We will step aside. You're watching the EFA in Paris and Prague on a gorgeous afternoon turning evening in Paris on YouTube.
Yeah. You ready? Hey. Let's go. Back. I'm at my prime. I don't need your endorsement. I don't need reinforcement. Giving you your last warning, cause I'm at my prime. Yeah. I'm at my prime. Whoa.
Hello and welcome. The second game of the inaugural season of the European Football Alliance is about to kick off. We're in the beautiful Gladsaxe Stadium in the city of Copenhagen in Denmark. 3rd and 6. Clark to pass into the end zone. And we have the first touchdown of this match. Brandon Bolio, number 19, brings it to the house. Pass deep. Next touchdown. 85. Jakob Green. Glenn Tunga takes it to the next touchdown for the Nordic Storm. There is Jalen Henderson himself. He was in, and that's the first score for the Prague Lions in the European Football Alliance. Draw with Glenn Tunga, and that's the next touchdown for the Nordic Storm. Jalen Clark, ledge fake, pass into the end zone. That is caught by Brett Bono.
Looking to the right side, seeing that Edwin wasn't open on the left side then to Bolio.
Is starting like a storm into this EFA season with a 47-13 victory.
Half number 2 coming up here from the home of the Paris Musketeers. Jeff Haxton and Coach Andrew Weidinger with you and our crew based in Europe. And we are on YouTube. And Prague will be on defense first. Okay, how about a couple of sentences for each locker room, Coach Drew?
Yeah,
what happened?
Start with that Prague side. You know, they've got to find a way. They got to get Willie P. more involved. Willie Patterson, their American receiver, he is the playmaker on that unit. And I know that those homegrowns, Bealey, like they've done a very good job. But Willie's the guy that's going to drive this offense and generate those explosive plays. They've got to figure out how to get that ball in his hands. They got to protect. I know it's easy to say, much harder to do when you're dealing with that Paris defensive front. And on the Paris side, again, they're trying to find where is that consistent identity. You saw it in that run game there in that 2-minute drill, kind of pounding a little bit, getting some pullers out ahead of things. Let's see if they can generate some kind of in-rhythm offense and not rely on Zach or busted plays to get their explosives and their big chunks of yardage.
Is either side happy with their play?
I think from a coaching perspective, you never really are unless you score every time that you go down the field. Like, it's very hard to walk out of a half being happy. Now, if you go into a game and you say, hey, like, this is a very hard Paris unit to contain, and you say we've done a pretty good job of that so far, maybe you're walking out of there with an inkling of a smile. But no, I don't think anybody's going to be satisfied with their performance in that first half.
If you are just dialing us in here, and we have Paris with the lead at the break. Yanata calling everybody in. There's your team leader. You can tell right now. Josef Yanata, 26-year-old Czech, bringing everybody around. And I would imagine he's saying, look, we had one good drive. We're only down a couple of possessions here. Let's make this interesting. Let's get involved and make Paris worry about this game a little bit. Here at Stade Bauer Stadium in Saint-Ouen, France, where it's 90 degrees. So hopefully some hydration there during the break for these guys, because, again, it was entertaining football, hard-hitting. And you can expect more of that in the second half, I'm sure. But I'm with you on there was a huge chunk of the Paris offense that was broken plays, like just take off, you know. They can have those, and certainly those will happen, but you don't want that kind of being the backbone of your offense.
Right. As an offensive coach myself, anytime that you're hitting something and it's not in rhythm, it's not on schedule, you're kind of like, am I doing a bad job as a coach? And yes, I'm glad we got those yards, and I'm glad that the players are going out there making plays, but you want to be in rhythm. You want it. Hey, this is the way we practice it, and we want to execute it like that in the game.
Jack Del Rio, again, the head coach of Paris, 8-5 for the Musketeers a year ago, finished 7-5 in the regular season, second place in the EFL West. We mentioned that Prague would be kicking away. It's Marek Hruban. Going to kick it over all those guys. We've seen every kickoff return. These have been exciting plays. Again, limiting the concussions because you're not running down there at 100 miles per hour. This one takes a sideways bounce and will go out of bounds. I jinxed it there, Coach Drew. I said everything's been returned, and he kicks it out of bounds.
Yep, that was bad timing. We'll let it go, though, early in the half.
Thank you.
We can recover.
Look the other way.
Yep. That's going to give great field position. Obviously, Paris going to start, I believe, at the 40 here with these new rules.
The ball will be placed on the 40-yard line.
You don't have to go far. You're in scoring range.
Yeah, you got it. You said 40-yard line. this offensive line, Daribo, Aka, Igbua, Erep, Vonti, Big Mike, the right tackle, they're trying to lift those guys up to the quality of the defensive interior. The defensive interior is the strength of this team along with the skill positions. This offensive line is growing. Keep your eyes on them as they got good push over the right side. Boom, 50, 45, and a big stick delivered. Coming up and laying the wood, Icaro.
Great job, downhill run. They call that duo getting double teams. You see the double on the nose right there, getting everybody in the box covered up. Bafunda getting downhill. Great job by safety getting him on the ground.
Yeah, Bafunda sprinted that thing for 15 yards and then went straight down. 1st and 10 already into Prague territory. Bafunda probing and then exploding inside the 40, riding the surge of the offensive line. 9-yard pickup. It'll bring up 2nd down and 1. Bafunda's a strong downhill runner.
I was getting Bafunda recommended as a running back to me 4 years ago in Barcelona, so some familiarity with his past, and this is who he is. Get him going downhill. They come right back to duo again, the same exact run play right there. This is an attempt to establish identity. Hey, we're coming out, we're running the same play, and we're pushing you off the line of scrimmage.
You even saw the tight end Charbel right in there leading the way, getting behind the big fellas in the trenches. From the 35, it is short on that little out route, right in the seam. So it went for kind of a mini shot there, but did not execute it. And I think that might have been affected there by Zach Weldsidi.
Yeah, you know,
got his
Edwards
paw outstretched.
Edwards saw that the backer was tucked in the box right there, the linebacker inside in the corner all the way out, the outside receiver. He was signaling to that slot receiver, hey, just run a one-step look right here. I'm going to put the ball on you. If you're going to make the check, though, you got to hit it.
We've got triple tight ends. Huge tush-push package. He didn't go very far.
Yeah.
He didn't go very far, but he only needed a yard and a few inches. As you can see the sticks at the top of your screen. I think they'll be moving the chains here. But Prague is signaling no, it's 4th down. Who's right?
You know, that tush
Someone's displeased down there.
No, whatever the ref says is what's going to be right. You see the Eagles run the tush push, and they get all that movement. Then you see everybody else run it, and it doesn't look quite the same. Like, you think it's a kind of a cheat code, but no. Like, the Eagles, they've got some sort of secret sauce, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's Jalen Hurts. Edwards again, tush push, round 2. He got it. And we turn football into rugby for a couple of plays. 1st down and 10 Musketeers.
See, they're bringing in some of those defensive guys to help generate the push there. Jack Lowe, 99, right back there, getting a little push in the tush, as they say.
Yep, Bafunda was there as well, getting low. It's all about low man wins. And Lowe happened to be a guy blocking there. Jack Lowe, the Austrian import. 2 seasons with the Musketeers. Pistol formation. Edwards, time. Tucks it. Can run it. And he'll coast out of bounds for the 1st down. And maybe a late hit. Edwards having some words for the late pop from Icaro. That's at least what it looked like.
Yeah, no. Don't go soft on me now, Zach. He gave you just a little love tap. You're all right. Where does he get him at here? So now, and yes, hits him out of bounds. Like, that's not the end of the world right there, right? But quarterbacks, if you're going to screw around on the sideline, you're asking to get hit. Get yourself out. Be definitive. Like, cool is out. Just execute the play. Don't be cool there on the sideline. I'd love to be coaching Zach right now. I'd give him an earful. That's on you, buddy.
There is no foul on the play. The contact
Good.
in question was legal.
I
The
don't know
result
if
of the
anybody cares
play,
what I would say
first
to
down
that.
Paris.
Just that we're all on the same page.
Well, no, I was saying good to the call. That was he barely grazed it.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, and you said don't go soft on me. And there was a little bit of, hey, here's the ball, so you get a little pop. All right, play on.
He brought that on himself. Come on, Zach.
He
Get
did.
out.
I love how you said cool is safe. That means you're taking the next snap, and here it is. 1st and 10, right up the gut. Cloud of dust, 5 yards.
Looks
Look
like they're going back
Condor.
to duo. Right back to what got him down here. Yep, duo again. Establishing that identity. Double team run, push him off the ball. Let's go.
For Charbel, they talked about him being a tight end. He's going to transition into the passing game. I'm impressed with his blocking. That's him right there on the bottom of the pile, pushing forward.
Yeah,
46.
He came from that
86.
T-roll organization, and a bunch of good tight ends who've come through there. Not easy to find good tight ends in the European game. Shoot, in the American game, same deal.
Bertolini in motion, play action, left side, pass is incomplete. He's trying to get it inside the 10-yard line, intended for Austin Mitchell, incomplete.
Mitchell, the speedster, they just got him on that go route, well defended right there. Jalen Embry, again, as good a man coverage player as you'll find in all Europe.
Embry was absolutely glued to him in that situation. This is 3rd down and 6. The nose of the ball inside the red zone at the 20. Handoff. Bafunda. Able to pummel forward, not near enough for a first down. Coach Drew, what do you do?
I go for it. 0% chance, though, that I'm not kicking field goals. Like, we didn't come here to kick field goals now. If they ran the ball there on 3rd and long to kick a field goal, I'd be disappointed. Good. We're back in the huddle. Let's go. 4th down. This is where you win your games.
Time to impose your will.
No question.
Look at how much you've already had the ball in this 3rd quarter. You've already eaten up so much. You get a first down. Prague could be completely gassed. Edwards knows that as he takes the chest-high snap. Wings it over the middle. Touchdown, Musketeers! Beautifully thrown and received by Ugo Takadim. That's 6, his 2nd.
Tough right there. They go to the zero blitz, try to get to Zach, force the ball out of his hands early. They get a mismatch. Takadim against the safety. Ikaro, that's a tough ask on your safety right there. If you're not getting somebody into the quarterback's lap, you got a problem in your secondary anytime you're playing cover 0.
Takadim pointing right into your living room saying, watch us play. I can't wait
Great
to see
job
him
by
as the
Paris.
Wildcat quarterback, too. I can't wait to see him take some snaps. That guy can play. 6'3", kick is blocked. And it's 23-6. We've had 2 extra points not connected on.
Yeah, the kicking game, always an adventure. You got to protect it. You got to get the snap. You got to get it held. I get in the NFL, it looks easy, right? Like, those guys get paid a lot of money to do that and to do it well. And they've got specialists who that's what they do all day. Here we've got the nickel is the snapper, the backup quarterback or a receiver in this case is the holder. And they got to do the rest of practice as well. Yeah, things can go wrong.
And Coach Drew here, I mean, the sense that I'm getting from Prague and really all these teams is if you have a jersey, you better be ready to do a job and maybe 5 jobs.
No question. The more you can do, the more likely you are to play. Them having, again, that homegrown roster is going to be the backbone of this team, and you need those guys to step up and fill all of these different roles. And sometimes you don't have a guy, and so like we're seeing, a nickel is also your long snapper. One of their safeties is a punter. Like, those things are going to happen because it's just, you can't be as specialized in this league.
Faithful booms it away, grabbed at the 10, 20, 30, bounce to the right side boundary and down. It'll begin at the 32-yard line for Prague, who has to be thinking now in this situation, we must answer. They ate up so much time on that first drive. As hot as it could be out here, we've got to answer if we want to have a chance to have a say in this outcome.
Yeah, they can't let this thing slip any further away. Got to get some sort of answer here, at least reestablish field position. Cannot let this score get any further than it is.
And they have been able to run the ball mostly with Zhuzelka. Crowd making noise. Man in motion, Carlos. Henderson, zone read. And it was blown up. Completely demolished as soon as the handoff went to Zhuzelka. Just nothing he can do. And the dam broke here, Coach.
Miscommunication on the right side of that offensive line. They got the blitzer off the edge. Tackle went out to him, but the guard didn't come out to the defensive end, pinching inside. Not a good start for this drive. Let's see if they can recover here second and long.
Jack Lowe, the Austrian, first man on the scene. There's big Elton Mendes, the former oil man. Drilling holes in this offensive line. Henderson. Over the middle, cut. 50, 45, 43-yard line. Radim Carlos.
That was Willie Patterson right there. They need more of this. Find ways to get it in Willie's hand. It's easy to make that mistake. Shoot, you're good. Find ways to get in Willie's hands. He's got to carry you. He has got to generate your explosives.
Patterson has a touchdown pass. That was a huge first down catch into Paris territory. Prague looking for the answer here as Henderson feels pressure. Throws deep right sideline. Jump ball. Incomplete. Ended up being a back shoulder fade to Bealey. And his back shoulder pad got torn.
I think he put it in a good spot on the outside there. Usually you see that pad come out. Okay, it was the ground that kind of brought that pad out. I think that was good defense down the field. Initially thought maybe there was some contact, but no, that's just hand fighting. That's a really good job making sure the DB doesn't get a pass interference there on that deep ball down the sideline. Very hard to defend that back shoulder.
Garrido Diaz out there on the corner with the play. So we've got second down and 10 upcoming. The former Musketeer quarterback, now with the Lions, Henderson. Blitz is not picked up, and it's blown up. Ho-ho! Paris, heat on the quarterback and heat on the receiver.
Yeah, they called the screen into the blitz, but nobody got out ahead of it. I'm sorry, the screen into the blitz. None of those linemen got out ahead, though. Not a recipe for success, throwing the ball out there in the flat with nobody blocking for your screen runner.
See Baptiste Polier flying around Kachanga. Third down and long for Prague. Third down, 15. They've got to get it all the way down to the 33. Henderson evading pressure. Running out of real estate. Sidearms it, incomplete. And now you're really in no man's land.
Yeah, 4th and 15. Obviously, there's no good answer offensively. You don't have good plays from 4th and 15. Looked like maybe a little delayed boot right here. I thought it was 7-man protection maybe to start with. They've got themselves in a very bad situation, kind of tough to punt from here, and no good offensive plays that get you that first down.
The second time he's gone underhanded for a pass today, Henderson, as they'll at least set up for a punt. Booted by Ruban. That's a gorgeous coffin corner kick there. Make sure you don't get any return and try to get your defense to get a 3 and out. Paris with a 23-6 lead. Zach Edwards with 2 touchdown passes.
You can see Coach is hot about the spot of this ball, and I don't blame him. We would have refs come to our practices in the NFL. I specifically made a point to ask about that situation. How do you spot the ball on a punt that goes out of bounds? And they essentially admitted we have no clue. Like, we were watching this on the TV. It looked like probably somewhere closer to the 10-yard line. They spotted at the 25 here. Who knows? They got better angle than I do.
Yeah, Coach Brooks is like, huh?
Not happy.
So from the 25, the Musketeers showing blitz Prague. They run into a wall, barreling off the left tackle for 4 yards. Kandar. Alexander Borkovic makes the tackle. Borkovic led the league in tackles last year, played for the Lions 2 years ago. He's back in the white and red.
Yeah, Borkovic was all over the field for the Farivar and Throners last year, out in Hungary, now back here in Prague.
So that's one of the biggest differences, right, between the NFL and the Euro League. There's so many places to play, and you got guys crossing countries, crossing oceans. You can go to Japan as you go over the left side to the 31-yard line. How do you get chemistry? Granted, you have these teams that have all these countrymen together, but how do you foster chemistry when it's just a big, whirling carousel?
Yeah, it's not easy, and it's something that that the guys who have been import players have kind of expressed to me. You want guys that are going to fit in, they're going to embrace the culture of the team that they're playing for, and when you don't have that, you tend to get rifts, just like any team. Now, in the NFL, you've got grown men and younger, adults, and they find a way. But if you can't find a way to mesh as a team, you're not going to have the success you want to have.
They're going to move the sticks to the 41-yard line. Dosa is having an incredible third quarter.
A little snag route right there. Good job. Nice, easy completion. Throws it away from that linebacker, lets this guy catch and run.
Borkovic again, another tackle. Paris, kind of a road grader type drive is what they're setting up here. They've gone from the 25 to the 41. The ball is on the deck, and Edwards had to dive back on it, and that's just a miscommunication on a zone read. RPO. Maybe a cramp here. That's what you're hoping for in these situations. With one of the big guys for Paris down.
Yeah, it doesn't look. That was Celestine and Gimby, the center down. Doesn't look like anybody fell on him. Hopefully he's all right. I've had Celestine 2 of my years in Europe as a player on my team. Absolute road grader on the inside. Stout bod player. Good to see him finding a starting role here with the Musketeers. Shake it off, Cell. You're going to be all right.
Pickle juice. Edwards and Paris, as you see that replay, pretty lucky to get the ball back. Only lost a yard. Second down and just over 10. Play action. There's the tight end with a first catch and a flag thrown. That might be roughing the passer. It was Charbel who made the catch in the flat, and then afterwards, Edwards was down, thinking it might be roughing on the back end of this play. maybe on Lucas Corum.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense number 8. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
It's actually Jan Kurs who committed the infraction. And that's an automatic first down, really a backbreaker for Prague. Coach, you can see the toll of the game is starting to add up. So first down and 10, and now into Prague territory at the 44-yard line. Handoff, Bafunda surfs through a couple of white jerseys and lands at the 39. It's Jalen Embry on the tackle.
A lot of guys pulling on that play. The guard and tackle pulling one way. They're sliding the tight end back to get out ahead of Zach if he keeps the ball on the read play. Very hard for the defense to adjust with that many guys moving there behind the line of scrimmage. Hard to tell where that football's at.
Some mauling blocks happening there from
officials timeout for an injured player.
Yeah, we're getting more. Again, this is still early in the season. We're still getting into football shape. We're still getting into announcer shape. You can see the tape is out. Oh man, some tape being used there. The athletic trainers are going to be busy with the ice baths after this one. The Paris with a commanding 23-6 lead. And they are just grinding the clock here in the third quarter as Magic Zach takes the handoff or the snap and hands it off. And we're close to the sticks. It's going to be 3rd and 1.
Again, back to the same play, the GT counter. They're pulling that guard and tackle, getting them out ahead of everybody. They like running this thing, looks like to the left, so they can get Big Vonti out there ahead of the play.
I said 3rd and 1. Let's make it 3rd and 2. All right, the box is officially stacked. 8 defenders in the box, and here they come. It's a quick out. Incomplete. It was delivered a little bit high, and Prague rolls the dice, and it works. Hike on the coverage.
Yeah, Paris had the right answer for that zero blitz right there. They just Zach's got to get that ball down a little bit. They got to find a way to connect. These plays are going to be critical as the season goes on. You can't have a cumulative effect on plays like this. You have to make this play. You have to scare teams out of heating you up like this. You want to force them to play their base defense so you know what to expect at all times.
Bartolin split wide left on 4th down and 2. Last time on 4th down, they went for the end zone and scored a touchdown. This time, a man in motion to the slot. Edwards feels pressure. Backpedaling. Incomplete, and Prague holds on the incompletion. They're playing it like it could be a fumble, but that looked like a forward pass as Alexander Borkovic applied the heat.
Yeah, it looked like Zach Edwards had that arm moving forward. Incomplete pass, still a huge stop. It really doesn't matter one way or the other, right, because they're going to get the ball right there at the line of scrimmage. Paris tried to run a version of deep cross right there, trying to get Austin Mitchell across the field. He got hemmed up about 5 yards downfield, unable to get across. Zach looking for answers. Good job by Prague rallying to the football.
Yeah, Borkovic's a player. You just look at him and think football guy. He's a linebacker. He can do a little bit of everything, maybe even drop back into a safety position. I think this might be a discussion, and it's like you said, it's going to be just the difference between a yard or two if they call it an incompletion or a fumble. It's going to be Prague's ball with terrific field position. You would either be starting at around your own 45 or your own 36. So that is a good chunk. And that's what these Zebras are talking about, making the decisions today in this EFA matchup. Oh, intentional grounding. It's a loss of down.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
First down,
I could see
Prague.
that. I could see that as the call, but if you're getting hit as you're throwing, very hard to make a determination on where that ball was intended to go. But yes, they had 4 guys into that route. I don't know where the back was. There's a chance that nobody was in the vicinity, and they wouldn't have thrown the flag if somebody was.
All right, Coach Weidinger, I'm taking a shot here. I don't know about you, but if I'm Prague, it's late in the third quarter, I'm taking a shot.
That's class. That's football 101. You get that turnover. Defense should be saying, hey, it's a shot situation. Watch out. And offensively, you've got your shot geared up, and you don't care what they're yelling. You're going to let that thing rip.
And one thing about Paris, they play a lot of 2 linebacker, 5 defensive back sets. One thing you also like about this Paris crowd, when their team gets out on the field on defense, they make noise. You hear the noise level go up here. 4 receivers for the former Musketeer quarterback, now Lion quarterback, Henderson. Hit and dropped.
Looked like a TE game. Tackle first, low up the field, 90 looping in behind him. Generating the pressure on Henderson right in his face. Got to pass those games off.
How much of a uniform
lean
guy are you,
defensive
Coach?
end. Nice quickness right there.
Coach, are you a uniform guy?
I've got a little connectivity issue here. The Paris uniforms, I actually think, are awesome. They've got kind of that inlay. Again, we get the screen to Willie right there. They've got to get that first block to get the play started. But those Paris uniforms, chef's kiss. Nicely done.
When I look at them, I think France, and I love them. It's a very basic look for Prague, but they're good as well. There's Willie P. They're trying to get the ball in his hand. Willie Patterson has a touchdown pass so far today. A couple of big catches. Jamalcolm Liggins, cornerback, American. He's down here to the bottom of your screen, trying to contain these wide receivers on 3rd down and 13. And they've got to talk about it, and I don't blame them. You're in good field position. And I think here you're probably...
Their first 30-second timeout.
You're probably trying to get some of this yardage so you can go for it on 4th down. So you don't have to get it all, but you have to get some, right? That's the way it feels to me. There's Zuzhelka. Third and long for the Lions. Snap. Pressure. Henderson tucks. Gets a few. Maybe 2. It's going to bring up 4th down and 12. Zaregbik comes up with a big tackle. Baptiste Polier.
Tough in that situation.
Also rolling in there.
If you don't have anybody open, you don't have anybody open, but you really want to get that ball in the air. 3rd and 13, unless you know you're going to get those 13 yards on the ground. That's a risky proposition, keeping that.
Fair catch made at the 19-yard line. What?
Close to interference right there. There's a little bit of contact. Got to be careful.
And Mitchell's wondering, hey, fair catch. This guy's in my lap.
Whatever happened to the old halo? It used to be the halo. That's long ago. You can't be in the halo for the returner. Yeah, that's. I hate to say it, that's a penalty right there. You cannot touch the guy, even if it's just a tiny touch. We've got Ngidby back on the field for Paris. That's good. He's not hurt. Back in the game.
Jalen Henderson, he had over 2,100 yards passing for Paris a year ago. He wants to be a part of building something in Prague. They love him. He's a leader. He holds everybody to a high standard as they go over the left side for 5 yards. That's Jan Kurs, who gives himself a chest pound. Jefferson's going to be a leader for this team as they build around him.
That is the end of the third quarter.
They love him in Prague. That's the end of the third quarter. We'll take a timeout. Come back with quarter number 4. Paris in control on YouTube.
From Grünwalder in Munich, a new era of football in Europe begins. Two of the continent's most respected organizations clash. A huge play to start the affair, a touchdown on the opening kickoff. Bijan Harris, the American. That's a statement. That's how you open your season. Wow, look at that block on the outside. A 2-possession lead early. Guns it into the end zone. Touchdown. 4 up front for the Ravens defensively. Here's a delayed blitz. Krajewski goes long. Left side. Touchdown. Tony Robinsteiner, the Italian, holds it in. Girol got back in the game with a touchdown on their last drive, but Munich knocking on the door again. Table rolling out to left. Pumps, gonna run. Dives, and he's in. Touchdown, Munich.
Tabor just kicked it into an extra gear there.
2nd down and 8 here. He's going to throw. Krajewski with time. Goes right to the goal line. Touchdown. Aaron Jackson again.
2.
It's 2nd down and a long 6 for Paris as Magic Zach Edwards steps up into the pocket and rifles one deep. Has a man there. Jump ball punched up in the air and incomplete down to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, they had the deep out with double post over the top of it. Zach takes a shot to his outside post, leaves it a little short. Good recovery by Hike to get that thing knocked away from Austin Mitchell.
Mitchell's like, oh, man, I had a chance there. I just think he had better defense by Hike that time. Jack Del Rio Headset on, looks very at home in Paris against team 8-5 a year ago. It's a 6-team league. Watch out for the Nordic Storm. Munich. Edwards sacked and then popped while he was held up. Finished. Mashik is the man to bear hug him first, and he wasn't touched.
Oh, you cannot let a free runner come down the A gap there in that zero coverage again, blitzing everybody. If you let it happen to you here in this game, Paris is going to have to be ready. Everybody's going to see this on tape and say, hey, we can get after these guys if we bring the extra bodies.
Checkborn causes the punt. Punt is away. All right, look out. This is a touch at the 45. All the way back to the left side, Willie P. Lowers his shoulder and has great starting field position for the Prague Lions at the 41 of Paris. Good return there set up by Prague, and they still have time. They can make a run, but they have to score this drive, you would think.
Yep, not a lot of possessions left in this game. Got to get points on the board. Good return here by Willie. Willie smart, strong with the ball in his hands. Good explosive quickness. When we brought Willie into the league, his trainer had sent his tape, and you get a lot of stuff when you coach in the league. A lot of guys send a lot of stuff, and a lot of it kind of good and a lot of it kind of bad. The moment I opened Willie's tape, I said, oh, here we go. This is the guy. He came in, replaced an injury for us, and he's been playing well in this league ever since.
Got a good shot of L'Animal. Mamadou Sy is down there in the trenches for Paris. Pressure off the corner. Henderson flushed and sacked for a loss of 6. Lowe gets it done.
Bilasami beat off the edge there. Jack Lowe, very experienced football player. Good job getting that initial push, dip in the shoulder. Good relentless effort to get to the quarterback.
Yeah, that'll be on the tape there for some coaching, won't it? He just did exactly what you said. Contact, keep the feet churning, dip that shoulder, go get him. 2nd down and 16. Or 15. It's close to both. Zone read Henderson, keeps over the left side. Good gain inside the 35 to about the 33. Some late pushing and shoving. And this is a scrape. Flags fly. And this will take a while to sort out. More flags.
This is the stuff that drives me crazy. The level of selfishness to get a personal foul called in a critical situation of the game. I don't care what side of the ball you're on here. Like, control your emotions. Be an adult. It's not that hard, right? I get it's an emotional game, but the moment you get a 15-yard penalty on your team, you're telling the other 50 guys on your team that you're more important than them. Drives me nuts.
And what happens sometimes in these situations, unless a punch is thrown, it just ends up being a whole lot of offsetting and nobody gets punished.
Yeah, that's best case scenario for both these teams, that they call it both ways. Hard to say what really took place there at the end of that play, but I promise you, all of it completely unnecessary.
Yeah, it was probably the best run for Henderson, so it kind of sullies that. You know, he's got a terrific run, and then now they've got to sort this out on who did what. They've got their notebooks out, putting the guilty parties in. I read the lips there. He said offsetting.
After the play, there are fouls by both teams. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense number 0. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 6. The penalty's offset. It will be third down.
Yeah, again, the only time you get to the egregious level is if a punch is thrown, and usually it's offsetting, and that's exactly what happened here. But again, it kind of sullies a terrific play by Henderson. And I really don't see any reason why it would have been set off like that. But again, I haven't been out there banging heads with somebody for 2 hours either.
Yeah, maybe a little overly aggressive there. Yeah, all right. Like, I don't know what to say. It's just so disappointing when I see that stuff. Just play football.
23-6 Musketeers. Prague on the move, but it's third down and 2. Henderson. Time. Complete. 30. Willie P. 25. Cut back. Spin inside the 20. They're trying to rip away the ball. He's down at the 19. First and 10 Lions.
Keep feeding him the ball. Get him the ball. They can't. It takes more than one man to get him on the ground. He's making 2-3 guys miss there. Willie's going to butter that bread. Give him the football.
Fairly simple crossing route. About 15 yards on that play for a first down and 10 for Prague. There's still time. They must score this drive if they want to have a chance to change the outcome. Henderson with room. He's going to tuck it. 15, 10, 5, and out of bounds with a flag down at the 3-yard line. Henderson's asking for a late hit. I don't think he's going to get it.
Yeah, that flag probably in a position, it's either going to be illegal contact on the defense, but if it came out late, maybe a illegal block or a hold on the offense. Hard to say for sure. Let's see what they throw that on.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's kind of in illegal block territory, but everything's
Doesn't
moving
look like
so
there's anybody
hard.
Engaged down there.
Yeah, and it's not late.
Again, no, the quarterback, get yourself out of bounds or else that's going to happen. Yeah, palms up, oh, he hit me late. No. Get yourself out of bounds. You're lucky you didn't get hit harder than that.
It was a pickup of about 14, so the last 2 plays have covered 30 yards for Prague.
Holding defense number 0. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Okay, so that'll be tacked on to the end of the play, and now you're really knocking on the door if you're Prague, with still 11 and change left in the ball game, down to the 2-yard line.
Critical situation. Got to get a touchdown here. Great opportunity.
Yeah,
First and goal on the 2. Find a way.
Well, here's where you reach deep if you're both sides. Prague gets it in. They're right back in this ball game. You never know how the attrition is going to figure as this game rolls toward its conclusion. They've got tight ends stacked to the left. Zone read. Nowhere to go. Jozelka stacked up. Second and goal.
Second time we've seen him run this. Looks like maybe like a zone read with the possibility of the option getting carried out there between the quarterback and Willie Patterson coming back behind him. Both have been gives, so we haven't had the opportunity to see the option portion of that play.
Bealey in motion to the right slot. Play action. Henderson drops it low near the goal line. Third down and goal. Jozelka, again, the intended target there for Prague. What do you call, Coach Drew? I think he would say Jozelka draw play for 1.5 yards. Henderson from the shotgun. Rolling right side. sacked back at the 13-yard line. Jack Lowe. So disappointing for Prague to get it all the way inside the 2 and do nothing with it on 3 snaps. But nothing Henderson can do because Lowe was there to meet him as soon as he faced down the field. I think if you're Prague and you want a chance to win this game, you most likely have to go for it. From the 11.5-yard line. Second timeout taken by Prague. They have one touchdown today.
Their second 30-second timeout.
And it was on kind of an adaptive flea flicker. Threw it straight back to William Patterson. From that point, it was clear that they were going to throw it downfield. So he let it fly, and on the other end of it was Maribili, one of the younger players on this Czech Republic Prague team. And they will go for the 3 to try to make it 23-9. This will be a 28-yard field goal attempt. Marek Hruba hooks it and tucks it through the left upright for the 3 points for the Lions. A 28-yard field goal makes it 23-9, and they'll give the ball back to Paris. That gets it to a 2-touchdown, 2-extra-point game. So they're playing a little bit more of the long run. The long game. But it does give them, I think, a goal. What you're hearing that goal is right now go out, get a 3 and out, get our offense the ball back. Because Prague is starting to move the ball. They had 2 consecutive possessions where they went for 15 and 14 yards. I should say plays on those possessions. Home opener for the Paris Musketeers. Their identity for Paris, a combination of Jack Del Rio's defense and the boom of Booker, Edwards, the offensive skill players. I got a feeling by the end of this year, this Prague team will be tougher than a leather boot. Tested early at the Nordic Storm and now at Paris to start the season, as it's a terrific return out across the 40 to the 41-yard line by Mitchell. Austin Mitchell sets up Paris in a great spot. 23-9 Musketeers. Grabbed it at the 5. See that slaloming speed and the hips with the flexibility. Paris now will have salting this game away on their minds with trips to the right. Pistol formation. Handoff. Putting his foot in the ground and getting one. Bafunda. Bafunda's been the workhorse today. And this just keeps all the heat off of Zach Edwards. With his team with a lead, you don't have to do too much with your magic. You can keep some of your tricks under your hat. As Jan Kurs got the tackle. And the clock is definitely the friend of Paris. You would think zone read several times here to keep that clock moving. Handoff, Bafunda, right side. Grabbed around the shoulder pads and waist and gains 2. Good fight over the right side by these teams. Marek Danik holding on there like a Greco-Roman wrestler. Love the pursuit. And down to the turf. Huge down for Prague right here. They get a stop, they're going to get the ball back. It's 3rd down at about 6, and a timeout taken, I think, by Paris.
Timeout, Paris, their first 30-second timeout.
So they'll have 2 more timeouts if they choose to use them. Chance to stand in that shade, get some water for these teams. Football, a universal language. There's a lot of languages being thrown down. But football, you could sign your way through it, do whatever you must to get on the same page. Jack Del Rio was taken in the 3rd round of the 1985 NFL Draft by our friends, the New Orleans Saints. 11 NFL seasons with the Saints. Chiefs, Cowboys, Vikings. Over 1,000 career tackles as Edwards is going to wing it. And that's a first down. 45-yard line. And Uga Takadim may be your MVP today. Great extension, terrific athlete. Jan Kurz was trying to catch him, couldn't. Now back to the zone read, if you choose. Into Prague territory at the 45 of the Lions. 3 receivers right. They're going to throw it. Little inside route. First down. 34-yard line. Mitchell brings it in. Just a stutter step cut in. Pass a little bit elevated, but no problem for Mitchell. 10-yard pickup. Paris showing that they've got more in the bag than just a zone read, handoff, trying to run the clock out. Trying to give these fans some more memories for them to come back to the next game. Prague has fought like lions this afternoon. Kandar stacked up 2 or 3 at the bottom, grabbing his legs is Marek Danik. There's the big fella, Jakub Smutny. This Paris offense running the clock. Prague will also get a bonus when Milos Ilic gets healthy. Milos has been out with an illness for Prague. He's one of their defenders that they lean on. Under 6 minutes, 2nd down and 9. Pass. Caught. Still on his feet. Finally, pancake down at the 24-yard line. Tuck it in. It's got to be well over 10 receptions in this game. Edwards just pounding the ball to Hugo. One of the hardest workers on this Paris team. been in the organization since 2023. Great way to spend a Saturday out in the French sunshine. We're under 5 minutes. Bafunda's going to bounce it out. 20, 10, house call, Bafunda! Shake and bake for the touchdown for Paris, 24 yards. Everything collapsed in, and Bafunda found the accelerator and never let up. And it's always great to see a guy who's done nothing but pound it up the middle and gouge for yards all afternoon, spring free. And that's the knockout punch this afternoon that Paris was looking for 30 points. Yes, sir. Dean Faithful still out there kicking the pigskin. (30-9). And he kicked it out of the yard, folks. I told you at halftime how close that goalpost was to the structure. Off it went. 4:44 left for Prague to try and get some good feelings going towards next week and the future of this franchise. There's one you can lean on and build around. 26-year-old import Alexander Burkovic. Dean Faithful from the 35. Returnable at the 7. Out to the 20. Left sideline 35. And slam down at the end of the run. All smiles, though, for Josef Jonara. He was the guy getting Prague fired up at halftime. He was hunted down, pinwheeled down to the earth. Jalen Henderson over the middle, complete. First down to the 46, 47-yard line. Went to the tight end this time. Gomez Kachanga helped on the tackle. Under 4 minutes. Paris has been in control. Looks like Prague has to take a timeout.
Prague, their third and final 30-second timeout.
Prague's going to drop to 0-2. 2-0 for Paris, barring a major miracle. The grind end of the game. Lucas Corum, you saw there, a safety. These rosters are not very big. Play action. Henderson evading, hopping through a tackle, sets up and throws incomplete. Jojelka, the intended target, barely steps out of that tackle. Plants, sets, fires. Boom, separation. Handed down from Gomez Kachanga. Next up for Prague against Munich. That will come up. Soon. Henderson tried to squirt through a pack of Musketeers, could not do it. That was one of the big questions. Can they protect Jalen Henderson? After college, Henderson went to Japan's X League, played for the Panasonic Impulse. Then went to Germany with the Potsdam Royals.
Hacks, I am back on the broadcast. I apologize for my absence there.
Welcome back.
Yes, little internet connectivity issue. I apologize.
Well, you missed a very nice run from Bafunda for a touchdown, 24 yards. That's a wide receiver screen that's not going anywhere. And we're really just seeing a fatigued and already thin Prague offensive line running through and just making it very difficult on Jalen Henderson.
Yeah, these screens, they keep missing that first block on the perimeter. This time, Willie's turn to miss the block. Play's not going to work if you don't get the first man blocked.
Up next for Paris, the Munich Ravens. That'll be on June 6th. So Paris going to enjoy some time off after this game. It's got to be offsides, I would think. So we're approaching the 2-minute warning. Well, maybe delay. That flag's way back there.
"12 players on the field in the formation."
Or I could be wrong
Defense.
on all counts.
5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
That's never happened before. Just wrong all over the place, Coach.
4th and 5 right here. We're going for it. We got to go for this one, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's, you know, the reality is there's not enough possessions to get back into this game, but at this point, not a whole lot to lose in this situation.
Yeah, and they're fine with kicking it away, and I don't blame them either. There was another used to be Halo rule.
Yep.
You know that right up there in his face.
Just keeping him on his toes back there. You know, you mentioned they've got Munich up next. That's going to be a real test for this Paris unit. Munich has probably the best assemblage of offensive skill position, or offensive talent, I shouldn't say skill position players. All 11 guys on that offense. Probably the best I have seen since I've been involved in Europe. That team is stacked. See here under 2 minutes, Paris can kneel this game out. 3 consecutive kneel downs as long as Prague doesn't take that last time out. That should end the game.
That man right there. feels like he's going to build this into something or die trying, being the Euro football lifer that he is.
Yeah, they put in this is a good fight today. Like, yes, the wheels came off here a little bit late, but this is a step in the right direction, the development of football in Prague. This is something they can build on. And I know, the score is, 3-possession game at this point, but they were in this thing until very, very late, about 5 minutes left there in the fourth.
Dave Warner went to be the head coach of the Madrid Bravos.
Yep,
you know
Dave
a little about them.
Yes. Dave's staying in Europe, still coaching in Europe, with the Bravos exiting the league. Dave did an awesome job with this team last year, and that was a great for the right direction.
Not sure about the delay here at the moment. Dinner plans, possibly. Turning out to be a perfect night in France. 3 down defensive linemen. Edwards rides the zone read for a loss of 3. There's Kandar. We saw him limping around on the sideline a little bit earlier, so good to see him back taking a handoff. Jonas Schlava is right there for the stick.
Yeah, offensively, you don't know if they're going to use a timeout. I don't know if they still had one or not. Hard to say with the graphic there, but they didn't use it. You can kneel it out. This should probably be a kneel out. Sometimes good to get your second string guys a couple of reps, even though they might not have meaning. I don't know that here they need to be running offensive plays. Again, though, you can get the backups in. These are guys that bust their butt for the organization for virtually no money. This is a great opportunity to get those guys in, get them some reps. I don't know that that's exactly what we're seeing here. Some of these receivers, it looks like the second crew, but still Zach Edwards and that starting offensive line out there.
Tomasz Pazurek was involved in that. That's one thing I want to make sure to give these guys their credit. You talked about some of the reserves. Make sure that they get their names out there because they bleed like the others. Jakub Januszek, you just saw there. Tomasz Jęczek, as we've got a knee in the victory formation. And that is going to wrap things up. The home opener, very successful for the Paris Musketeers. They moved to 2-0. Prague fought valiantly and gave us a whole lot of entertainment today. Coach Weidinger, give us your final thoughts.
That is the end of the game.
And I think we lost him just in time to say goodbye. Okay, I am Jeff Haxton for Coach Andrew Weidinger. Thank you for watching our broadcast of Paris and Prague. Thank you to our spotter and statistician, Perry Haxton. For our crew over in Europe, the final for the final time, Paris 30, Prague 9. Until next time, God bless you and good night.
saying, like, bro.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Good for you,